serving at Brigham Young University, Hawaii, for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and all the missionaries on campus and in the Polynesian Cultural Center were called home because of the coronavirus. And so I am going to be teaching the rest of my watercolor class remotely, and so here's a little demo that is for my watercolor class. But if you're not in my watercolor class, enjoy the demo and create something. Make a little watercolor painting. So I've had a great deal of fun teaching my watercolor class. They have a lot of energy. When everybody was in the class painting, you could just feel the creative energy in the room. So hopefully we can replicate some of that energy here on YouTube, and so you guys can create wherever you are and in whatever circumstances you may be in. So let's see. First, we're going to paint a group of people, and I want to show you the scrap. So this, if we can get it right, is a group of people in San Francisco about a year ago. They're down on Fisherman's Wharf and just milling around. Some guy's eating an ice cream. A lot of people in the foreground and the background. And but I think we can make an interesting painting out of this. There are a few things to remember while you're painting this painting. Here's some things to keep in mind. It might be intimidating to paint people, but you have to think they're not people, they're just shapes. So that's, if you're looking for the shapes, then you're not so worried about how the faces are going to turn out. So think shapes. Think design. Where are the whites going to be? Where are the darks going to be? Is there a way to combine them so that I can make the composition of the painting more strong? Where do I want the eye to go first? So film this, so we'll see how this works. I want this guy to be one of the main figures, so I'm going to put him here, and I'm just kind of roughing in shapes and thinking about angles and shadows. And then we come over here, down here. This guy is leaning this way. And there's ice cream and everything down here. And then you have this woman here who is not sure what she's doing. And then we've got some nice whites back here of other people, which I'm just going to make into interesting shapes, hopefully. And I want to bring this woman up higher to meet those shapes. I can see that as I'm drawing, and I'm not too worried about erasing. If I could find my needed eraser in all my luggage and everything that was shipped, I'll be able to erase these pencil marks even after I've painted the painting. So the first thing is to get the sketch down on the paper. Okay, so I have sketched this on my watercolor pad. This is a pad of Arches 140-pound hot press. So, and that's quite a group of people there. Very close to each other. We can look at this instead of going out in public. So here we go. And I'm going to put the first couple of washes on and see where we go from there. Okay, I want to put some beginning washes on this so that I'm not afraid of the white paper. I just get something down. I've chosen a yellow that I'm going to come down, and if it drips, I'm okay with that. If I don't like it, I will get this and just dab up those drips before they stay. But I'm just going to come back here trying to save the whites. So got to remember where the whites are and think about that. Then I'm going to have a little bit of this warm red color coming down here into the faces and over here into the hand. And then I want a touch of blue comes down further, just so we get some colors on the paper and we're not afraid to put marks down. I think we'll put the red over here on this outfit and make sure we get that up there and maybe a little right there. Okay, I think we want a little more blue. Up here. So we get a good touch of color. Okay. Now I think I'm gonna just let that dry. Let's let you take a look at that. Just getting a little color down on the page. Okay, now I have to be a little more careful with my painting. I have to think a little more carefully, and I want the brush strokes that I put down to look nice and fresh, but first I need to figure out where they're going to go and what color and what value, and then put them down with a fresh, confident stroke. So that's what I'm doing next. This is a tea towel, and I can use that and wash that, and instead of paper towels, that's a possibility. I'm putting down a mixture of burnt sienna with a little cerulean blue in it, and I just want to kind of get the shadow areas in on this man's face. So I need to think and make sure he's got a nice chin and shadow under here. And then I want to have that same kind of color over here on this guy's face. Okay, now I want to glaze over these faces with like a light cad red that's mixed with a cad yellow, and that will give me a nice warm flesh tone. I want it to look nice and warm. I want to make sure I leave some whites in a few areas, because that's going to be where the light is hitting most intensely, and I want to make sure that I save those. So a speck on his chin, and I'm just glazing right over the top of that wash that I did before. Okay, just making sure all of the places are glazed over. But I want to save that white on his ear and the white on her cheek. All right, now I want to think about putting some nice grays back here. And I'm just kind of going off of shapes here. Get some of these nice grays that are really going to make these whites stand out a little bit. We're just going to have them come over here. And this is going to be a darker one over here. Okay, I've got some of the darks in there. I want to make sure I get this nice red color of this sweater over here, and I want to soften the edge right there, so while it's still wet I'll rub in a couple of places, and then I want to echo that color in a couple of places, just wherever I feel like I want to repeat that color red. Just so it kind of ties up the whole painting together. Now I'm going to go in and really tickle on detail. I'm going to go in and just look at little tiny places where I can add a little bit of detail, like into the face, some of these faces and the hands, the candy bar, and make sure I'm going to pull it all together now with the detail. And I'll see if I have to glaze over a few things to tie it together. So this shows you a little of the detail that I've been working on the man on the right, on his face, and I need to continue just working over until I do a little bit of detail on what's left. All right. So here's after I've done a little detail work and added some darks, so I take a look at it. I wonder if I want to darken this white right here, so I kind of put my hand over there to imagine what it would be like if it was a little muted, and I think that would work. And maybe I need these darks to follow up in this area too, to make it nicer, a nicer design. So